Yo, yo, yo. Hey, everybody. Today, I want to share with you one of the key things or the key reasons why most of us fail to implement and sustain a habit that we want to have in our life. And I learned this lesson the hard way. So today I want to share this with you so that you don't have to make the same mistakes and you can go and implement and sustain the great habits that make you who you want to be and who you are. So before we jump into that, first of all, let me just get this. Boom, boom, boom. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the 1% Better Show. So, this is a show that I pulled together to share with you some of the learnings that I've been through, some habits, principles, structures, and disciplines that you and I, people in our age, very young, we still have a long way ahead of us to really look at what makes some people success, and more importantly, how can we borrow some of the learnings from them and implement them in our own life, in our own business, in our own careers, so that we can have the success that they have as well. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So let me get this very quickly. Bing! A bit nice little borders. Okay, so I want to talk about habits today, but not necessarily about what habits you or I should implement in our lives, right? We've heard all sorts of like millionaire habits, right? People go wake up before 5 o'clock, read a book like every week, or go have a cold shower, or I don't know what else, like some intermittent fasting hacks, right? There's so many different habits out there that successful people claim to use in their lives. But here's the thing, you can do it. But the question is, most of us, we try to do it for a period of time, but we never really sustain it. And that's why we never get to the benefits of it. But the question is, why do we not sustain that habit? That's the question, right? We all just listen to these fancy habits that people are doing, and then we just ape in, we just jump into it, we just do it. But we haven't taken a step back to do this one thing that can actually differentiate you from other people and actually make you stick to this new habit. So, this is the thing that I want to share with you today, which is before you think about any habits or any routines or anything that people are doing on a day to day basis, think about this first. What I want to share with you is think about your intent, your intention. This should be the first step. It's not about what habits comes or what habits do. It's about what's your intention. Okay. So what is intention? Now let me pull up this slide very quickly. So intention is a conceptions formed by directing the mind towards an object. Right? Let's read it again. Conceptions form by directing the mind towards an object. The way that I can explain it in a very simple term is like Google Maps, right? So if you think about navigating through Google Maps, what we normally do is that we have the starting location, we know where we want to end up, then Google will give you the millions of ways on how you can get from A to B. It can give you routes on foot, it can give you routes by car, by train. Blimey, if you are living in London, for example, it might given you a cycle route, it might even give you a um, Uber, or it might give you taxi. It gives you all sorts of options. Do you want to be on a motorway or not? How many traffic lights you want to avoid? All those sort of stuff, right? Now, all that different routes are just like habits. There's so many different habits that can get you from A to B. But if you don't know where your end destination is or where the point B is for you, it doesn't matter what route it gives you. You will never end up where you want to be anyway. So intention is about finding out where this point B is for you in your life and your career and your business, right? It's about who do you want to become at the end of this? Why does this matter to you? What makes this so important? What do you want to get out of by implementing all these different habits, right? It's having clarity in where you want to be at the end of the implementation or these habits that can sustain you through to do what is necessary to get you from point A to point B. But then here's the question, because we don't normally think about it that way, how do we know when we have a good enough intention? Right? It's like, where do I start? what is the indicator to know that I've got a good enough intention, right? So the best way, or the easiest way I should say, is to think about it this way. So again, let me pull up this very quickly. How do you know when you found your intention? Or people say you find your why is when you have this. When you feel like you're in tension, that's when you found your intention. Okay, a bit of a tongue twister there, but let's try again. Once you're in tension, then you have found your intention. Intention means you're going to feel a bit stretched, right? If you look at the origin word of intent or intention, it means feeling stretched. Okay. So when you think about where you want to be, whether it's a goal or a dream or an aspiration, it will always makes you feel a bit uncomfortable. You'll be like, oh my God, I'm going to share this like dream with so and so. They might laugh at me. They might do this. They might do that. Blah 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 blah. Oh my God, I've got this like ridiculous dream. It makes you slightly uncomfortable, but that's where we want to be. That's when you know that you have found the intention. That's when you know you've found that vision. That's when you know you've found that inspiration of where you want to be, where you want to go, who do you want to become, where do you want to end up. Okay, so that is the very simple way of finding out what your intention is, or you're getting to the point of finding clarity in your intention. Okay, it's that dream, it's that goal, it's that aspiration, that inspiration. Okay, so next time when you hear people talk about habits, they're like, oh my God, you need to do this, like wake up at 5 o'clock, you need to go take a cold shower, you need to go do intermittent fasting, you must do this, you must do that, you must do blah, blah, blah. Instead of just like fear of missing out and try to do all of those things, take a step back and go, okay, if I do intermittent fasting, for example, what is it that I want to get out of this? Why do I want to do this habit? So for me, because I'm into my fitness and sports and I want to lose weight, build a bit more muscle, make sure I'm more healthy. I vision myself as like a very strong, powerful, agile athlete. That's who I want to become. So intermittent fasting then becomes one of the habits that can help me to get there. And guess what? When this habit doesn't work out, because my point B is so strong, I'll find a different habit that can help me to get there. But the most important thing is I will end up where I started to be. It's just like Google Maps. When you get lost, Google just gives you a different route. It just gives you a different way to get to the same destination. That's why having an intention is so important. It should be your starting point. So next time, don't just take in someone else's habit, like, oh, you must do this so that you can become successful. That's just one of the ways those successful people do or make or implement to get to where they are. It might not be for you though. So you have to work out what's the clarity for your intent, for your intention. Then once you take in these habits, you have your own tweaks to it, you add your own spin, but you end up where you want to be. And that's what we want at the end of the day. It's not about how we get there, it's about getting there. Okay, that's my belief. And that's certainly the things that I've learned. And by doing that, I've also taken on so much more discipline, structures, and habits in my life just because I got so clear on where I want to be in terms of my fitness, my relationship, family, life in general, career, your business, right? There's so many areas of life that you can get clarity on and have an intention on. So that's what I want to share with you today. And I hope that you are clear that next time when people think about habits, you don't just jump in. You go, hang on a second. Like by doing this, where do I want to be? Where do I want to end up? Why does this matter to me? Okay. So that's what I want to share with you today. And if you enjoy this episode and this content, please, please, please hit that like button or subscribe, or even better, don't do any of those. Okay. All I want is that we can share this message to someone else. So if someone is like struggling or beating themselves out because they can't implement the habit, share this with them because this is going to fundamentally change the way that we look at habits, the way that they implement habits, the way that habits are being sustained throughout someone's life. So share with a friend. Okay. Now, I love to meet all of you because it's all digital. you're seeing me on the screen here, but I can't see you. I really love to interact with you. So just give me a follow on Instagram. I'll follow you back. Let's have a chat and let's see where you are. If possible, if I can help you in any way, shape, or form, then just reach out and I'll be more than happy to do that. So that's all I want to share with you today. And I hope that it has fundamentally helped you to look at habits in a very different way. And you've got a new perspective on how to look at intention. And that's how you find your why and find the way to get to where you are now to where you want to be. So that's all for today. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. See ya.